Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. We might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, because they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle way.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue The president's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse. A presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, J.B. Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, J.B. Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt. Or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jimmy
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators thinking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Diablo, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
At the end of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Well, here we go. Another day. Another day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel. How you doing, everybody? It is Hump Day, Wednesday, the 12th of February, 2025. How y'all doing today? I'm doing okay. Running a little late today, but that's not unusual on some of these mid of the week days. And I did have computer problems this morning at least, so that's good. Lots of stuff going on, so let's just quickly get to this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I get a laugh at Anderson Cooper today. So anyway, hi. Let's say hi to everybody. That's what I got to do. Oh, I got to fix something here. Hang on. Okay, there we go. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready to fall in love with you. Who remembers that song? Casey, what's his face from the Casey and the Sunshine Band? And I can't remember who the female singer was in that. I really love music. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody and get this thing started. First in the chat today's course is Mr. Avocados Diabli. Gets the bell, and of course, my stuff ain't working. Let's try it again. There we go. Now you got a bell. That's a bell. Yes. Also, good morning, Kara Soldier, Resolute Germ, Tyre, Alexander, The Scourge, Aaron Meredith, what up? Willie won't lead a show. He's here. Played Trucker Zach. Nice to have you back. Good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout, singing John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. La, 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 la. I don't remember who puts that up there, but hi, welcome. Also, Jethro Header was in the house. What's up? Attack Alpaca, and that's it. That's the entire chat. And I did a poll question on whether or not we should do just a show just on the stupidity of the Krassensteins and others influencers. So far, it's at 69%. I was going to give you one of these. It's at 69%. Oh, yeah. But it's not now. Now it's 71%. We'll see what happens then. I'm going to leave that up for a while. Also, if you haven't shared the stream yet, click that link at the top of the chat and give me a let's go. And you can throw in a GIF or a meme or something along with it. Someday I'm going to ask just for memes because, some of you got some good memes. We could go through some memes someday. And then also, if you want to sponsor the show, pdognight.live. Casey, and Terry Desaria. Yeah, she's kind of that was like her only hit. Black Georgia USA front group OCCRP was behind the 2019 impeachments and now was found to have driven the Russian collusion hoax. Oh, well, let's look that up. I haven't seen the. Let's see if I can find it under. Here, let's do just a search. Let's just do a search. Let's try that. Da-da-da-da-da. Both USAID and CIA were behind the impeachment of Trump. Oh, well, that's from 5 days ago. I saw that. I didn't read the whole thing. Oh, and the New York Times put out an article on the 7th. U.S. right wing crusade against USAID has been fueled by falsehoods. Oh my gosh. Here's a town hall article too. Interesting. We might have to get into that another day. Oh, Tyre, you're the one who does the John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. You just want me to sing that damn song. I see how you are. All right, let's get into some stuff because I'm goofing around. Hello, Ms. Wild Wolf. What's up, my fellow Minnesotan? And K-Shell's in the house. What's up? All right, let's fix that. All right, good. All right, let's get into some news. Did I even tweet out the show? Yes, I did. I was going to feel bad if I didn't tweet out the show, and I'm asking you to do it, but obviously I did. I just didn't put it on Locals. Let me fix that real quick. I don't know if any of you even follow me on Locals. I'm going to start using that, though, because I don't want to use Patreon. I don't want to use Subscribestar. And I'm going to start writing again. So I'll post some more stuff on Locals, too. But right now, let me just put that post. And if you follow me on Locals, I'm going to start doing some exclusive local streams. I mean, I don't have that many followers anyway, but it'd be fun to try it and see what happens. So, all right, there we go. Here, posted on Locals. Here we go. Let me close this. And let's get into some news. Now, of course, today is Hump Day! I don't know why I like saying that so much, but it does. And the top post on Hump Day is from someone named Dell in the City. Now they're singing off key Negro spirituals about President Trump and Elon Musk. At this point, I'm siding with whoever guarantees I'll never have to hear this again. And they wonder why they lost. Happy Hump Day. Well, let's see what Dell's talking about here, because this is, I'm sure this is just glorious. They're very, the Democrats and government workers are very angry with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So let's hear the song. Hello, Green Badger Outdoors, by the way. Also, let's see. We'll pin this too. I'm gonna let's remove the other pin and replace this. Now, if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that at. Oh wait, what the hell? That doesn't even have a link. Well, I don't want to put that up there. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do it at pdognight.live. And we'll put this one up there for now. This one's better. There you go. All right, and also if you haven't answered the poll, do that. All right, let's listen to some Democrat entertainment that will not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on? Which side are you on? We'll fight against Josh. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Elon scared within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk.
I'm going to leave this on just to torture you for a minute. I hope I don't lose subscribers over this, but it's a beautiful song, and I did refill my coffee anyway. By the way, today's coffee is brought to you by Big Daddy. That would be me. I want you to shut the fuck up.
But we want him in jail. Oh, which side are you on?
I'm on Trump's side and Elon Musk. And anyone who's willing to get the government to stop spending so much damn money on shit that we don't need. Shut the fuck up. I think I'm going to put that as a separate link, just if you really want to watch that again. I think you need to watch it again. Here, we're going to copy the link, and we're going to put a new tab, and there we go. I'm going to put that one in its own place. Now, for the more traditional Hump Day post, without, boobs, butts, and penises, the next post, I guess this is okay. It's a Hump Day thing. It's hump, you got to touch the hump. So there you go. There. That's a little more traditional Hump Day post. All right, there we go. Real quick, too, I want to thank the people who have been. Oh, shoot. I want to do that. Hang on. Whoops, I messed up. Let's fix that. There we go. Hump Day's back. Oh, whoa. Okay. I want to thank the people who have been touting the show this morning. It's fantastic. Here we go. So thank you first, Somnambule Nation, for tweeting out the show. And good morning, by the way. I see you there. Also, and here's a let's go from Somnambule Nation. That's from the Golden Girls. I can't remember her character's name. Did you know, by the way, that of the four actresses on the Golden Girls, Estelle Getty is actually the youngest of the four? She put on that old wig and stuff and made herself look old, but she's the youngest of the Golden Girls. or the former Golden Girls. I think they're all dead. Also, thank you, Resolute Germ, throwing a little Owen Hart in there. And I got, let's see. Let's see. Thank you, Kirsten and Resolute Germ and Somnable Nation for retweeting mine, and Ms. Wild Wolf and Ms. Wild Wolf again. So there you go. Anyway, so there's that. All right, moving on. What do we got here? Let's get more news since I haven't done any news yet. Abraham Lincoln. Did you know today's celebrity birthday is Abraham Lincoln? This is funny. And someone here says, happy birthday to America's first dictator, Abraham Lincoln. Shut newspapers critical of him, ordered the slaughter of civilians, jailed dissidents, rigged elections, didn't end slavery. What? That's an interesting way to look at it. I suppose technically you could say that, although how did he order the slaughter of citizens? They weren't citizens. They had a war of some shit. Committing war crimes against innocent civilians is always morally wrong. Even Abraham Lincoln. The people are not very happy about Abraham Lincoln today. Here you go. In honor of Abraham Lincoln's birthday, I'd like to tell you who he really was. Lincoln was a racist tyrant who wanted to deport black people back to Africa because he didn't want blacks and whites mingling. Oh my God. Everyone's being critical of Lincoln today. He also had his political opponents locked up without trial, started a war to collect taxes, and incorporated America, which opened the floodgates for all the tyranny. There's several books on why Abraham Lincoln is bad. Here's someone who did a pencil drawing of Abraham Lincoln, and there you go. Went looking for historical presidents who had challenged the supremacy of the Supreme Court and found mostly inconsequential figures: Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, FDR. So anyway, happy birthday, Abraham Lincoln. Boy, that didn't sound very happy to me, though. Anyway, moving on. Also, Dia de Juventude is trending. Now, this has to do with Venezuela. I didn't really know much about this, but it's trending pretty high. And so here's the translated post here. On February 12, 2014, thousands of young people, instead of celebrating Youth Day, went out to demonstrate for the freedom of Venezuela. More than 330 people were murdered on Maduro's orders. The streets are still stained with their blood, and they cry out for justice. So this was a day where this was not a good day in Venezuela. So anyway, in fact, here's someone. Today is Dias de Juventud. Well, let me get the translation, even though I can kind of read Spanish. Today is on Youth Day. We celebrate young Venezuelans who did not lose hope of building a better future. Their talent, creativity, and resilience are an example for all. So, yeah, that's a rough day in Venezuelan history. Moving on, other things trending. Chubby Checker is trending, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is trending. Now, kind of surprised that Chubby Checker isn't already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in some ways, because he was. The problem is Chubby Checker had one. Well, as I say, he had one job. He did one thing, and he did it over and over, throwing that twist song all over the place. But the nominees for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are. Oh wait, this is wait, where is it? This is not it. Oh, here we go. The 2025 nominees are Bad Company, Black Crowes, Mariah Carey, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Billy Idol, New Order or Joy Division. New Order, really? Hi, Maddie, by the way. Good morning. And JB. Cyndi Lauper, Mana, Oasis, Outkast, Fish, Soundgarden, White Stripes. This just tells me how old I'm getting. Because to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you have to be in the business for 25 years. And a few of these people are, I was surprised that they're 25 years, but I guess not. Like Outkast, they've been out 25 years? Oasis too? Really? I mean, Soundgarden, sure, that's 90s. And White Stripes is kind of 90s. Bad Company, 70s. Black Crowes, 80s. Mariah Carey, 80s, 90s. More 90s, 2000s. Joe Cocker. I'm surprised Joe Cocker's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. Cyndi Lauper, 80s. I don't know who Mana is. Oasis, 90s, 2000s. Outkast, late 90s, 2000s. Fish, I'm a little bit surprised. Well, Fish wouldn't be surprising, I guess. Soundgarden, there you go. Anyway, people are arguing whether or not any of these groups should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So some of these should have been inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame many years ago. Chubby Checker, Bad Company, Billy Idol, Joe Cocker, Black Crowes, Joy Division, and Cyndi Lauper. Outkast is a surprise, but and there's people complaining too. So there are some people who complain that, some of these should have been in a long time ago. Some of these aren't really rock acts. And my argument is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has always been, it's more Hall of Fame from the rock era, not rock, not rock bands, rock genre necessarily. And I got a guy arguing me on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, about this. And saying that, I said, here it is. I said to him, understand Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is not rock performers, but popular music Hall of Fame in the rock and roll era. So the rock and roll encompasses a whole lot of things, not just rock genre. And he says, well, no, that's the excuse they've made in recent years to appear more inclusive. There's a lot of pretzel logic they have to use to justify who gets in and who doesn't. And it was usually an excuse for someone's elitist tendencies. And I said, nonsense. Look at all the inductees. I'll put a list here. So obviously some of these are because they are, they're people who were influencing the rock era, but Little Richard, Elvis Presley, Sam Phillips, Jerry Lee Lewis, Robert Johnson. I mean, there was no like rock category when the rock and roll came out. So they got James Brown, Ray Charles, Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, Everly Brothers. These are all like pioneers of the rock and roll era. And I'm like they had, it's so funny. He says, not getting your point. Is it your contention that artists like Jimmy Rogers, Leadbelly, and Ink Spots had no influence on the era of music of rock and roll? No, I'm saying, in fact, gosh, I don't believe it. People who influence were always part of the deal. People who inspired generations of rock artists. I mean, without Jimmy Rogers, there's no Steve Miller. Steve has spoken at him length. No, that's not what I'm saying. No. No. Look at the entire list from the first inductees. The rock, I don't know, I'm not going to do this now. But the rock category didn't necessarily exist when you're talking about the entire era of rock and roll. So you got people like Jackie Wilson. Yes, did he inspire the rock category? Did Hank Williams inspire the rock category? Sure, Muddy Waters, T-Bone Walker, Big Joe Turner, they inspired the rock era. But it's the entire rock and roll area. It's not one myopic genre like that you'd hear on one specific music station. And I'm looking through this whole thing. That would not be rock. The Platters, no. The Four Seasons, no. Look here, who else? Ike and Tina Turner, were they rock music? No, they were in the rock and roll era. Class of '85, Al Green, really? Allman Brothers, are they necessarily a rock category? Martha and the Vandellas, look at the entire list. Look, here, that's what I'll put. Look at the entire list. look at the entire list and figure out what I'm saying. It out. That's what I'm going to do. Look at the entire list and figure it out, dude. All right, enough arguing about some guy on Twitter. Moving on. We did Hump Day. We did this. Rock and roll. Happy Hump Day. Same day. Where are we at? All right, so those are things trending. I'll drop this back in there. So I got the entire list of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thank you, JB, dropping a 5 spot via YouTube Super Chat. It says, fun fact, there's allegedly a video out there of Chuck Berry farting on a hooker's face. Thanks, Justin Wang, laughing my ass off. Cheers. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. All right. Oh, by the way, so it looks like our poll. I'm going to end the poll. Thank you for people who participated. Yes, I should do an entire show on the ridiculousness of the Krasensteins and other influencers. All right. I'll put something together and we'll do an entire show on that. So core CPI numbers come out today, and already the influencers are saying, oh, look at the inflation's up under Trump. Because this is the inflation for January. And Trump came into office January 20th. And they're already, the usual suspects are out there bitching. Because here's where we're at. Core CPI, 3% year over year, estimated 2.9%, so slightly higher than expected. CPI, 0.5% month to month, estimated 0.3%. Core CPI, 3.3 year over year, 3.1 estimate. Core CPI, month to month, 0.4%, estimated 0.3%. So now, this has been trending for the last 4 months. It's been up. And so the idea that you can blame it on a specific thing that the Trump administration has done in the last 23 days when Donald Trump was not in office probably is a stupid folly to fall under. However, someone here just in, inflation remains a problem. Inflation ticked up to 3% year over year in January, the highest since June. Monthly gain was 0.5% above expectations. Rent made up 30% of the increase. Gas and food also contributed. Gee, I wonder what could have caused rent to go up. That's interesting. Could it be that we have 10 million people getting higher priced housing in the United States because they're getting it for paid on the government dole? Someone says core CPI, which excludes food and gas, rose 3.3%. Core CPI has basically stalled since June. So it's been about the same. Hasn't changed much. But the overall CPI has ticked back up since June, which is a trend from the prior administration. Congratulations, you win the prize. But of course, we get one of the Krasensteins. Here's the Daily Krasenstein. Maybe threatening to deport 5 million low-wage employees and massive tariffs on our target largest trading partners was not such a great idea. Hey, dipshit. You do realize that the tariffs never went into effect yet, or have not. No, none of the tariffs have gone into effect yet. And the fact that this is trending, it's trended for how many months? Since July? It's been going up steadily since July. May have something to do with the prior administration, not the one that's been in office for 23 days. You fucking moron. Just saying. So anyway, typical though, all of the influencers out there, oh, this has something to Trump and this and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're a moron. So the Fed's worst nightmare just got worse. CPI inflation just officially jumped plus 0.5% in 1 month, the largest increase since August 2023. Core CPI inflation was expected to fall to 3.1%, but instead rose to 3.3%. What does that mean? Well, this person says, let us explain. How long is this thread? Problem is the Fed also did they lower interest rates slightly? Well, not recently. This is the hottest inflation report we've had since 2023. Headline CPI inflation is expected to remain flat at 2.9%, while core CPI inflation was expected to fall to 3.1%. Instead, inflation posted a large jump and hit 6 months highs. This has huge implications, and it gets worse. Headline CPI row, we already know that. Okay, 5 days ago, we posted this chart showing surging inflation expectations. U.S. consumers' 12-month inflation expectations are up to 4.3%, the highest since November. This marked a 1.7% point jump over the last 3 months, the largest surge since February 2020. So this has been happening over the last 6 months. Now on Friday, they posted the below alert for our premium members. We've been building a short position on TLT over the last 2 weeks. Today, TLT broke $88 in support. Okay, so they're talking about some stock stuff, but month-over-month increases in core CPI are more concerning. Chart via Zero Hedge. Not only was the 0.4% above expectations of 0.3%, but it doubled from the 0.2% seen in December. Again, none of this has anything to do with any policies that Trump came in with. He's been in office since the 20th of January. This has been trending for months. Data officially puts a 10-year note yield back to 4.6%, blah, 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 blah. This is a lot of gobbledygook that I'm not going to go through anymore. But point being, it's so funny how something that's been trending for months in the same direction can be blamed on the person who's been in office for 22 days. Looking at the CPI numbers, you realize that the gamble you took on Trump so that your grocery bills would go down isn't going to pay off at all. It's not about you. It's not about him. Every time I see someone put like this, 22 days. Here, it's a 6-month trend versus 22 days in office. Figure. Just everyone, it's so funny. And in fact, there was a Krasstein post this morning complaining that gas prices are up, egg prices are high, blah, 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 blah. What Donald Trump said, oh, no, it was a post where one of the Krasstein said, Donald Trump said he would lower energy costs by half in his first year in office. Gas prices just went up. Apparently, it's not working. Ed, 22 days out of 365. Give it a rest, bitch. Anyway, all right, let's move on. And so inflation is also trending. $71 shopping cart in Canada. Inflation. Now, yeah, it's worse in Canada too. I feel sorry for y'all Canadians, man. I've been seeing how much food costs in Canada, and even though it's in Canadian dollars, it's very fucking expensive. This is a $71 bag of groceries right here. Now, of course, what is that? Some kind of, what is she buying? Is that bread? I don't know these brands. Some whipping cream. It's like some cream cheese, some coffee. That's $71. You know, it's funny. When I used to go to the store, I used to go to the store a lot because I did most of the shopping for me and Lady Boomer and the kids or whatever. And it used to be, if I had a bag of groceries or whatever, and I had, no matter how many bags I have, it would average about $18 to $20 per bag that I filled. And that's kind of how I always gauged how much I was spending on groceries. I didn't really, I mean, obviously you get receipts and stuff, but I could pretty count on it being, $18 to $20 a bag if I had the bags about 3/4 full. And now it's like $35 every time you go through averages per bag. It's crazy. So anyway, so that's why inflation and CPI are trending. Moving on, Mark Fogel. This is a great story. Mark Fogel, an American hostage, has been released from Russia. Here's Mark Fogel. He was, let's see. Now, this guy says Biden left in Iraq for years. Trump brought him home in weeks. Mark Fogel was abandoned in Russia for years while Biden cut deals for woke celebrities. Remember, he got Brittany Griner out? Trump made a promise to his 95-year-old mother and delivered. No excuses, just actions. 10 Americans brought home in 3 weeks. I didn't even hear about the other the hostages from Venezuela. So here is Mark Fogel and Donald Trump.
I feel like the luckiest man on earth right now. And I want you to know that I am not a hero in this at all. And President Trump is a hero. These men that came from the diplomatic service are heroes.
Obviously, a very emotional Fogel there. He was detained in Russia back in 2021. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison after being caught with what his family described as medically prescribed marijuana.
Oh.
The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, spoke last night.
So remember, this is when Biden was busy trading some international arms dealer for Brittany Griner. Mark Fogel was left in Russia. Didn't try to get him out.
About his release.
None of this is possible without President Trump. This is the 10th American that's come home after being detained somewhere overseas in just 3 weeks in the White House. It's an extraordinary achievement.
I can't release until the person's released. Obviously, it could endanger a hostage release, and that I can't do. But I can say that we expect another one tomorrow, and hopefully a lot more through that, because the president made it a priority to get all Americans home.
All right. So congratulations, Mark Fogel, on being back on American soil. Let's see. I think there's also something in the Daily Wire about this. Yeah, here we go. President Trump's a hero. Mark Fogel welcomed the White House after release from a Russian prison. After enduring 3 years in a Russian penal colony, American school teacher Mark Fogel was welcomed at the White House tonight by President Donald Trump following his return to freedom in the United States. I feel like this guy, we saw that already. I'm not going to do that. Fogel called his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, who has relentlessly fought for his release, the most dynamic 95-year-old on earth right now. After his meeting with Trump, he's expected to go to Texas for a medical evaluation and rehabilitation. Fogel, 63, was given a 14-year prison sentence for possessing medical marijuana in 2021. An employee of the Anglo-American School of Moscow, Fogel spent 27 years teaching overseas and was planning to retire the year he was arrested. An American doctor prescribed him marijuana after Fogel had surgeries on his back, shoulders, and knees. And the State Department designated Fogel as wrongfully detained in December. No, never has one owed so much to so many, Fogel said with his own take on a Winston Churchill quote. Knowing I had the support of my fellow Pennsylvanians, my family, and my friends, it was so overwhelming that it brought me to my knees and brought me to tears. Fogel said he appreciates Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, who negotiated his release. So, and there's more, but you can read that. But yeah, that's awesome that he's back. So there you go. Moving on, the Pope is still trending, and we talked about how he was talking about how the cruel and policies of deporting these migrants who are just innocent, and frail and whatever. Well, the only part I'm going to show you is Tom Homan's response to the Pope. Here's Tom Homan.
I look at how this works for the Pope. Pope want to fix the Catholic Church. I'm saying this as a lifelong Catholic. I was baptized Catholic. I was First Communion as a Catholic. Confirmation as a Catholic. He ought to fix the Catholic Church and concentrate on his work and leave border enforcement to us. He wants to attack us for securing our border. He's got a wall around the Vatican, does he not? Mm-hmm. So he's got a wall around to protect his people and himself, but we can't have a wall around the United States. So I wish he'd stick to the Catholic Church and fix that and leave border enforcement to us.
There you go, Tom Homan. Tell him. Anyway, a lot of people talking about the Pope. Me looking around the Vatican for millions of illegal aliens the Pope is housing and feeding at his own expense. It ain't happening. And they're the ones supposed to be the most humanitarian of all time. All right, Oval Office is trending because yesterday, Donald Trump and Elon Musk Musk's young son, X, were in the Oval Office doing a executive order signing event, and they did a spontaneous question. Here it was. Andrew, why in 4 years did you not allow President Joe Biden to take spontaneous, unvetted questions from the media in a 49-minute-long presser in the Oval Office? Because someone named Andrew Bates apparently was criticizing this. POTUS stands next to his spokesperson. Real Donald Trump before going back to God knows what. So they're playing this game that, Elon Musk is the real president. Look, when Donald Trump was campaigning and Elon Musk joined this campaign, Donald Trump said he's going to have Elon Musk head up this Department of Governmental Efficiency. I know that's not the official name, but that's what we're going to call it, Doge. And they have people in his department doing the work that Donald Trump asked them to do. And it's not unusual for a person who heads a department to take questions from the press. And seems like the press is most interested in Elon Musk. But the person sitting at the Resolute desk is the president, and the man standing next to him is there at the request of the president and is an appointee of the president. So y'all can shut the fuck up about this President Elon Musk. No, he's just doing the job that Donald Trump asked him to do. Good morning, select a boy.
Yeah, boy.
And also rename me. And also my other favorite Canadian unacceptable views is in the house. Good morning. So this guy, so POTUS stands next to his spokesperson, Donald Trump, before going back to God knows what. He could be cutting Medicare, snooping on competitors, looking through your personal data, whatever it is, he doesn't want you or Congress to know. Well, that's weird. That's a weird thing to say, because they sat there for almost an hour and took questions from the media, unvetted, just whatever questions people asked, they sat there and asked. So this guy, Stephen Miller, again, why in 4 years did you not allow President Joe Biden to take spontaneous, unvetted questions from the media for 49 minutes? So anyway, so everyone's complaining about the Oval Office. Let's take Lawrence O'Donnell's take, because I'm not doing 8 minutes of Lawrence O'Donnell. Fuck that. Here's an example of some of the questions they were taking. Mike Benz put this there. There's something very quaint and honest about getting topical updates on our government's true workings in the form of a kind of buddy-buddy Oval Office stand-up comedy set. Well, let's see what this means. Oh, by the way, one of the problems that they've found, that there are people 150 years old receiving Social Security. That, I gotta see these people, because that would be amazing. 150-year-olds? Here we go.
You know, there's crazy things like just cursory examination of Social Security, and we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, do you know anyone that's 150? I don't. Okay. They should be on the Guinness Book of World Records. They're missing out. So, you know, that's a case where, I think they're probably dead. It's my guess. Or they should be very famous. One of the two.
Good point. And someone says, that's a good joke. They should be dead or they should be famous. Native patriot Elon Musk just announced in the Oval Office that Doge is investigating federal employees with high net worths despite low pay. This is exactly what I voted for. Time to cleansings of the temples. Time to flip some tables, folks. So, yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell who have these high net worths. Now, someone was posted about that. But so here's another. Well, here, let me go back to the top of this topic, because let's see. Someone here says, here's one of the most incredible political press conferences I've ever seen. Trump and Elon standing in the Oval Office telling the American people directly what they're doing, basic financial management of our out-of-control spending. This is not optional. It's essential. Yeah, look, for whatever it's worth, and when they deal with the courts and how they're going to deal with, the stupid rulings some of these judges made that seem to be just like partisan nonsense and activist judges, they are doing what I've been wanting the someone in the federal government to do for the last 40 years. I mean, I'm even, back to Reagan, back to, Clinton. I mean, the Republican Congress finally got a balanced budget in the 90s. But then, we went back to something else. There's so much stuff we spend money on that we don't know about. And I guarantee you, if the American people knew about it, which they're starting to find out, they're starting to say, some of this stuff is ridiculous. We don't need it. Let's stop spending money on stupid shit. So here's, let's see, what clip did they put here on this press conference? Let's see what they did.
If there's not a good feedback loop from the people to the government, and if you have rule of the bureaucrat, if the bureaucracy is in charge, and then what meaning does democracy actually have? If the people cannot vote and have their will be decided by their elected representatives in the form of the president and the Senate and the House, then we don't live in a democracy. We live in a bureaucracy. So it's incredibly important that we close that feedback loop, fix that feedback loop, and that the public's elected representatives, the president, the House, and the Senate, decide what happens, as opposed to a large unelected bureaucracy.
Now, it's funny he mentions unelected, because a lot of people are bitching and moaning. Oh, Elon Musk is not elected, blah, 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 blah. Right. Neither is a single person who runs any of these bureaucracies. But they're all appointed by somebody in the executive branch, the head of the executive branch, who happens to be the president of the United States. And oh boy, who is the president of the United States who brought on Elon Musk? Well, that would be Donald Trump. So whether the package was elected, whether or not you mean he was specifically elected, we elected this package because this is what they said they were going to do. And I'm always skeptical every time I vote if they're actually going to do the shit that they say they're going to do. And they're doing it. Now, some people are really upset about it because it's taking money out of their pockets or out of their favorite cause or their favorite, backdoor, extra money in your pocket thing. You know what I mean? The circular, some of these people are just money laundering shit. And I don't care. This is exactly what I wanted them to do. And they're doing it. I'm elated. And we'll see what happens. Real quick, thank you, Tyler Alexander, dropping a small bullet in the tip jar. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that at pdog9.live. The link up there at the top of the chat. Tyre says, this is fucking transparent. They are trying to drive a wedge between Elon and Trump by appealing to Trump's vanity. It is stupid because I am pretty sure Trump sees the play. Democrats never fucking learn. Let the rees continue. That was a re. Thank you very much, Tyre Alexander. That's exactly right. Good morning, Andrew Thurston. But what about the eggs? Yeah, fuck the eggs. By the way, I bought I told you this yesterday. I got eggs for $5.97 for 18 pasture-raised, grass-fed eggs. Supposed to be expensive kind. I'm not paying $15 a dozen for eggs. Someone said, "Oh, eggs are $15 a dozen now." Well, probably because you're in one of the places where they killed all the chickens. So, talk to President Biden about that. All right, what else is going on with this? But people are talking about the Oval Office. By the way, let's see. Oh, here it is. Yesterday, I asked Elizabeth Warren how she achieved a $12 million net worth on $200,000 salary, prompting a reply from Elon inquiring as well. Today, Elon Musk announces in the Oval Office that Doge will be investigating public officials with high net worths and low pay. Our government finally listens to us. We are the media now. So here's the guy talking to Elizabeth
Senator
Warren.
I just want to answer a question. How did you get a $12 million net worth on a $200,000 salary in Congress?
Thank you.
How did you do that?
Excuse me.
How did you do that? You can keep trying to block my camera. We're on a public sidewalk, so. Senator Warren, I just want to answer a question.
That's a good question.
How did you get a $12 million net worth?
Miss Consumer Protection, Mrs. Consumer Protection herself. I don't know how she did that. Anybody know? So anyway, yeah, they're going to investigate Here it is. Investigate them all without fear or favor. There's no question a lot of sweetheart deals and insider trading will turn up. Nobody bets big and beats the best people in the investment field year after year without inside information. So yeah, that's true too. And there's several, and it's not just Democrats. It's not just Elizabeth Warren. It's not just Nancy Pelosi. It's Eye Patch McCain. It's who are the other prolific ones? Dan Goldman. Although Dan Goldman was wealthy long before he came into Congress. There's a lot of people who are very wealthy before they got into Congress. People in government, like someone who said, "Well, what about Doug Burgum?" Doug Burgum was a billionaire before he even ran for governor in North Dakota. He sold his company to Microsoft and for like lots of money. So you can't complain about people like that. But the people who come into Congress with nothing and leave with a lot. Now, here's Piers Morgan is weighing in on this. The media may mock this extraordinary Elon Musk and Donald Trump show from the Oval Office, but I suspect the way they're talking about how the U.S. federal government has been spaffing so much taxpayer money up the wall, we'll have many Americans cheering loudly, and it shows in Donald Trump's approval ratings. So there you go. Let's move on. Mozambique is trending. This also came up in the Oval Office meeting yesterday. Someone here, Mr. Musk, you said on X that $50 million of condoms were sent to Gaza after fact-checking it was going to Mozambique. Can you correct this? So here's him talking about that, because that, well, here, let's just hear his answer here.
And this is big numbers. Talking about $100 to $200 billion a year.
Sure.
Serious money.
Mr. Musk, you said on X that an example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza. But after fact-check this, it apparently Gaza in Mozambique, and the program was to protect them against HIV. So can you correct the statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas, actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody.
Good answer.
I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something
$50 million worth.
About.
That's a lot.
And that is really.
How many? Now think about this. Think about this. $50 million worth of condoms. That's a lot of fucking condoms. No pun intended. Hello, Kevin S. What's up? That's a lot of condoms. 50 million buys 1 billion condoms. Well, they're government condoms, so you know they probably don't work. But that's a lot of damn condoms. $50 million of condoms.
Really an enormous number of condoms, when you think about it. But if it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why are we doing that?
Can you talk?
Yeah. I mean, can Mozambique buy their condoms? Here's a... Actually, it was going to Mozambique. Dude, we don't care which shithole it was going to. We care that it was going anywhere except America! Brian, oh my God. And Brian Krassenstein. Will MAGA apologize for calling me a liar? Waiting. Yeah, I think his answer was fine. Yeah, if we make mistakes, we'll do our best to correct it as quickly as possible. The reporter is asking Elon to correct the record about condoms for Gaza, which were instead 50 million of condoms for Mozambique. I zoomed in on Trump's face, and he cracks me up more than you'll ever know. Yeah, here's Trump's reaction to the question.
It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that
it's a very important question, and Donald Trump took it with the seriousness it is deserved. All right, moving on. Now, the other thing that's popping up, and of course, this always pops up when there's a Republican in office, but they never seem to mention, like, the Republicans don't give a shit when the Democrats are in office, but the Hatch Act is trending again. The Hatch Act, And then someone says, good news, after 4 years of vacation, the Hatch Act Twitter is back. Someone named Alex Bolton posted this. Republican sources tell me that special government employee Elon Musk wearing a MAGA hat in the Oval Office appears to violate the Hatch Act. Really? Talking about may not wear or display partisan political buttons, t-shirts, signs, or other items. Oh my God. He was wearing a MAGA hat. Hello, GDSOB. He's wearing a MAGA hat. Oh my God. But it's not only did he say it, but it's trending. It's freaking trending. Kamala and Bribin took funds from Medicare to give EV credits to their Green New Deal and hid the price increases they caused until after the election, which would be a Hatch Act violation. But you Democrats didn't care. And now you're upset about a hat on an unpaid volunteer. The hypocrisy of the left never ceases. Oh my God, he's wearing a MAGA hat. Good God. By the way, here's a glimpse of the march of Democrats protesting in D.C. Mostly, again, government union members and Democrats. Government, when I always like to think about this when you talk about like municipal or government employee unions. So let's say you have a private company, like let's say Ford Motor Company or some big ass company, right? And there's a union that is there to, kind of negotiate the rights and salaries and stuff of the people versus a private company that makes a profit. And it's kind of a struggle of how those profits are used, how much goes to the employees and how much goes to the shareholders and owners of the company, right? You're negotiating, and there's the entire goal of everybody is to make sure the company's profitable, that everyone still has jobs and whatnot, and that they grow as a company. So the private company unions really make a lot of sense. I mean, they make sense sometimes. They don't. Sometimes they're counterproductive. But I understand the concept. You're negotiating a company, and you're basically based on the company's profits. Government unions, however, who are government unions negotiating against? Because government really doesn't produce anything. Government really isn't there to make a profit. So public sector unions, you're fighting against the taxpayers. And there are certain politicians, certain hued politicians, blue Democrats, who love to give more money to unions and even the public sector unions. That's why the public sector unions love the Democrats, because they don't see the United States as a limited fund operation that doesn't make a profit. They see it as we have unlimited funds. We can give them anything. So it's kind of crazy. But here's the march against Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now,
as I turn down the audio.
It's interesting as I look at this. I see this group of people. They're kind of spread out and the camera's zoomed in. Does it look like there's anyone behind this initial surge of people? Is there a ton of people, or is this just they're getting the whole group to make it look like they're bigger?
About that. Another live event as we are taking a look out of Washington, D.C. As Democrats are protesting the Department of Government Efficiency. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
Doesn't look like that many people, does it? Like, it doesn't go back into these cars up here, like here's my cursor. See up here, there's nothing back. There's no people back there. It just looked like this is the whole, almost the entirety of the march. But who knows how many were actually there? So anyway, all right, moving on. Impeach is trending. Now, I thought it was going to be about impeaching Trump, but some people are also talking about impeaching the judges who pulled down some of these rulings because of their really strained nature. We must, in fact, here, this person says, let's see, Sauron, upon a judge rules, Frodo must return the ring to Sauron. Okay, never mind. That's dumb. That's a silly post. We must impeach judges who are grossly undermining the will of the people and destroying America. It's the only way. That's from Elon Musk. By the way, he changed his name back from Harry Bowles back to Elon Musk on X. I guess, that was just a temporary thing. But here, Elizabeth Warren has an epic meltdown and allegedly assaults a reporter when asked how she made tens of millions of salary. Okay, no, she did not assault anybody. But here's Jamie Raskin talking about impeaching Elon. This is stupid.
Look, does not like the idea that a guy who would not even be constitutionally eligible to run for president is acting as president. A guy.
No, he's not. He's acting on behalf of the president with a specific goal and an agency just like any other people in the cabinet. So that's a stupid talking point.
Who, if he were president, would be impeached immediately because he's taking billions of dollars in foreign government emoluments from all over the world. And some people have actually...
What? You mean governments pay him for services that he renders through his companies? What the fuck are you talking about, Jamie?
I've been talking about impeaching President Elon Musk right now.
Because you're fucking retarded. Okay, I probably just got a yellow sign for that one. Anyway, other people, today's a good day for Speaker Johnson to impeach Obama Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer. If you agree, let him know. So people are talking about impeaching some of these judges. I don't know if that's productive. Let's let the process play out. And honestly, the Trump administration is playing this correctly. I've been listening to some people who are going over some of these lawsuits that various states and whatnot have done. And the judges who made these rulings made some really stupid rulings. And in some cases, the Trump people are saying, okay, well, this is what you said. We're going to follow this to the T. And nobody gets access to the Treasury computers and payment systems, including the Treasury, the Secretary of the Treasury, because you said no political appointees. So they're going back and forth with these judges and in the appeals courts. And I got a feeling that that will be resolved. Honestly, I haven't gone into it too deeply here. So anyway, but they're talking about impeaching judges. Also trending is constitutional crisis, because all the Democrats are saying this is a constitutional crisis. But I don't think they realize what the true constitutional crisis is. Because some of these rulings where the judicial branch is acting as the overlord of the executive branch, when all these agencies are under the executive branch. And I wish I could find the chart I saw earlier today. But all these agencies that they're going through and doing audits on and whatever are all part of the executive branch. And so these judges are telling the lead person, the top dog in the executive branch, that he can't do the job of overseeing all these departments under the executive branch. That's the real constitutional crisis. When a single judge in, Connecticut can tell the president that he must return some web pages back to the internet, or, just micromanaging the president of the United States. I don't think that's what the Constitution says that you're supposed to be able to do. Hello, Donkey Punch Bandit, the greatest name on the internet. So anyway, a lot of people using the term constitutional crisis, especially here it is. Here's the montage of all the news people, because the news people love to say this. Here it is, the montage.
That is
okay, that music's too loud. I don't want that. Why'd they add music to that? Anyway, let's go here. So anyway, some people talking constitutional crisis. Ben Shapiro says, Democrats, your messaging didn't work when it was threat to democracy. Rebranding in a constitutional crisis ain't going to cut it. Eric Erickson from Red State, I think still. Is he still from Red State? I can't remember. He used to be. I'm beginning to think it's not a coincidence that with USAID funding shut down to NGOs, we aren't seeing mass progressive protests in the streets, even as the news media tells us we are in a constitutional crisis. Yeah, isn't it weird? Like that, even that little protest we saw there earlier, it wasn't all that big. The NGOs don't have the money to deal with the constitutional crisis. Ron DeSantis, the real constitutional crisis is the evolution of a fourth branch of government, a massive power center insulated from accountability and immune from results of elections, yet eager to impose its will on we the people. The real constitutional crisis lies in leftist district judges going beyond the proper role of the courts to block policy with which they disagree on flimsy political grounds. The real constitutional crisis results from a feckless Congress, which has for decades forfeited the most potent constitutional weapon in our system, the power of the purse. Correcting these maladies is not creating a constitutional crisis. It is ending a long simmering perversion of our Republican form of government. It is, in short, restoration of constitutionalism. Go ahead, Ron DeSantis. Damn. Tell him. Okay, here's the other one. Is this one music too? Let's see if this is without the music.
Causing a constitutional crisis.
This is the one I wanted to play. Here's the one that I meant to play. Here. Oh, it's still the same one.
That is a constitutional crisis.
Causing a constitutional crisis.
In constitutional crisis.
A threat to democracy.
This is a genuine constitutional crisis.
A threat to democracy.
Constitutional crisis.
You get the point. Over and over. Now that's their new thing. A constitutional crisis. Yes, the President of the United States being in charge of the executive branch of government is a constitutional crisis.
A broad federal policy.
Here's our friend, our friendly Mr. Scott Jennings on CNN.
Well, I think there's a difference between saying whether you're complying with the law and then you have these individual district court judges setting effectively broad federal policy that is specifically reserved for the President of the United States. I think we do have a constitutional crisis, and it's being caused by these judges. They're not here to tell us. They're not here to tell us how to spend the money. They're not here to set broad federal policy. That is the president's job as elected by the people. These judges are supposed to be settling discrete, specific matters, not policy setting. I think Vance is right. I think Trump has a point. And these judges want nothing more to continue the lawfare against
I don't think anybody's in the executive branch saying, no, I don't feel like it. And the courts say you have to.
Well, my answer to that simply is, it is the executive branch's job to figure out how to spend money once it is appropriated by Congress. And sometimes they spend money that's not been appropriated. But the correct political control is between the executive and the Congress. I want to
return to that.
There are not repercussions. You get away with it.
I get it. You want individual federal judges who hate Donald Trump.
No, I don't.
To tie him up for 4 years.
No, I don't.
If you want a big policy questions decided, let the Supreme Court do it. But in the interim, the executive has to be allowed to govern.
Am I wrong about that?
So anyway, that goes on and on. And that's all Scott Jennings' versions. So anyway, but yeah, that's the true constitutional crisis of whether or not judges can micromanage the executive branch in this way when the executive branch is the executive branch is in charge of the executive branch agencies. All of those agencies, the 429 agencies are under the executive branch. And and it's funny because the money appropriated to them, I bet you if you look at half the shit they're spending on, Congress didn't approve those specific spending items. Okay? The agencies do what they want. They decide who's going to get grants. They do it without, and now they should be within the goals of the executive branch, but they're not. They're basically entrenched bureaucrats in over 400 agencies that just do whatever the fuck they want, pretty much. And that's why you get some of this crazy shit that we're finding out about now. So that's, and then finally, Anderson Cooper. And this was the main topic, but it's not really a main topic. Anderson Cooper just getting so flustered and losing his shit over something that Chris Sununu said. Chris Sununu, whatever the younger Sununu name is, And here's the clip that everyone's talking about.
It was surreal, but I got to tell you, I know what you're not showing here. Musk gave 7 specific examples off the top of his head of where the corruption and fraud were. I know you didn't play the clips. He was talking about a contractor that had a 3-month contract. He was paid for 20 years. He was talking about welfare benefits that were being paid to someone that was technically 150 years old. He was talking about line items in the Treasury that had no justification.
There's no any like he doesn't present any.
Why are you arguing with him? Let's say, so is he supposed to bring out the specific piece of paper every time he mentions one of the some of the things that they're finding? You never gave this much scrutiny to the Biden administration. In fact, Joe Biden never even talked to you assholes because he made what 4 press conferences his entire presidency, and most of them were early, and they stopped doing it because he couldn't do it without having specific handout questions. You scrutinize this like it's, I want to make sure that pencil is sharpened to the exact, degree that it's supposed to.
The actual evidence.
Well, he's standing there in the Oval Office. Do you expect him to come in with 10,000 pages?
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to be clear. To complain about this administration about transparency, when this president takes open questions on a daily basis, yet Joe Biden didn't show up for a press conference this 6 months, is insane.
Yes!
These guys are being extremely transparent.
Get him!
They don't have to sit there and take the questions, but they do. It's all on the website. It's all out there.
It's not transparency to say things that have no factual background. I mean, to say we're...
Look here, Jeffrey Toobin, masturbator extraordinaire. You need to shut the fuck up, and I don't even know why you're back at CNN. You don't get to determine what is true and what is not true. Yes, they clarified on one thing, where the condoms were going. The $50 million in condoms. They went out to Gaza, Mozambique, not Gaza in Israel. Okay, they went to Gaza. They had the wrong country. But $50 million in condoms? That's 20 semi-loads of condoms. Minimum.
We're cutting, we've found $1 billion or $1 trillion in waste with no specifics. That's just talk. That's not transparency.
I bet they'll tell you exactly where it is if you ask them nicely, Jeffrey. Just keep your dick in your pants.
23 days in here, guys. 23 days. You're talking about $2.3 billion that was saved last year. These guys are saving $2.3 billion a day.
Right, but
it's incredible.
That's what they're saying. But where's the proof?
You're waiting. You're not going to be satisfied till you show.
Where's the proof? Where is the proof that Joe Biden was actually the president of the United States? Dumb fuck.
Up with 10,000 pages.
But 10,000 pages.
Yeah.
He's giving very specific things,
yes, he's
not actually giving any evidence of that.
It's all going to come because what they also said was, if we have to go to Congress, we'll go to Congress.
Right, but
we'll show where it is.
Some of the details that have come out, like the $59 million spent on luxury hotels, it's actually not.
Talking about the FEMA money that was abused for migrants. That was.
Yeah.
FEMA money for migrants, that's okay now?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. Don't put words in my mouth.
So would you stop that? Would you stop that process?
Don't be a dick. The portray...
What? What, Anderson? You talking about your favorite thing? Don't be a dick. I thought you'd want him to be a dick, because these are a few of my favorite things.
What I'm saying is the portrayal by him is...
I wonder if Anderson apologized for that yet. Did Anderson Cooper apologize? By the way, here's a reminder when Anderson Cooper says he was in a hurricane, or a Hurricane Katrina. Remember that shit? Oh, so people are laughing. Anderson Cooper tries to defend $59 million going to New York City for illegals by saying it wasn't all for hotels. Oh, it wasn't all for hotels. Yeah, right. It was for hotels. It was for food. It was for, they get an extra stipend for entertainment, and they get, probably get free bottled water, organic, I don't know what organic water is. Holy shit. Anderson Cooper gets so frazzled, he says, don't be a dick. Because he can't justify what the fuck he's saying. It was surreal, but I got to tell you, I know what you're not... So there's that. I have a few articles open, mostly about what's going on with this White House thing. The New York Post, in this is an editorial, make Doge revolution stick, lets Musk and taxpayers reveal what's really in America's checkbook. in the New York Post. It's federal judge's decision to bar Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency from reviewing the Treasury Department payment system is most likely a temporary setback, but it illustrates the urgent need to secure a permanent win for transparency. Progressives are panicking, but it's because their 100-year largely successful assault on American constitutional government is in danger of being reversed. And that is the reason they're pissed off, because they build all these agencies that just send out money to crazy shit, and a lot of it ends up in some of their pockets probably, or at least in their think tanks, because they have government grants going to entities who give them to other entities that are, basically Democratic pet projects. It's crazy. So that's the New York Post. In National Pulse, GOP congressman has moved to impeach judge blocking DOJ access to government payment system. Representative Eli Crane of Arizona is poised to introduce articles of impeachment against U.S. District Court Judge Paul Engelmeyer over the latter's order blocking the Department of Government Efficiency and arguably the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent from accessing the Treasury Department's federal payment system. So I don't know if that'll go anywhere, but it's interesting, and the judge, if that is challenged in the courts, I don't think that judge's order is going to go very far. They've already had to make adjustments to it. Also, the National Pulse, Musk detailed plan to slash federal budget deficit in half by 2026. So that was they talked about that in the Oval Office. The entire interview, or the entire section.
Okay, well, how
is one of these links? I can't remember. That's just the minute one, but it's in there. Also, the National Pulse, Trump signs executive order implementing a major federal workforce reduction. President Trump issued an executive order on Tuesday instructing the federal agencies to collaborate with the Department of Government Efficiency to reduce staffing levels and restrict hiring. The directive, which outlines a workforce optimization initiative led by DOJ's Elon Musk, aims to significantly reduce the size of federal government. Good! It's long overdue! I'm just like, bring it! Oh, yes, it feels so good. That's a little weird. Also in the New York Post, inside FEMA's sickening history of misspending billions of taxpayer dollars and going largely unchecked. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has mismanaged billions of dollars over the years, according to numerous government reports on spending. The government agency response to COVID, hurricanes, flood, and housing migrants have all come under fire for being wasteful and going largely unchecked. The newly created Department of Government Efficiency has been sent to analyze its spending. The most recent audit of the embattled disaster response agency claimed it mismanaged nearly $10 billion during the COVID pandemic between 2020 and 2023. FEMA even approved a grant of $1.1 billion, despite it only being supported by a single piece of paper with no itemized cost on January 30th audit by the Department of Homeland Security's Office of the Inspector General. It approved a grant of $1.1 billion that was supported only by a single piece of paper. How does that happen? How does that happen? The Trump administration called for a complete overhaul of FEMA, which is a slated budget of $65 billion for fiscal year 2025. During the pandemic, $1.5 billion was doled out for one state's medical staffing without the proper vetting and could have been put to better use for other disasters. These issues occurred due to unprecedented circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic and FEMA not following established requirements when delivering public assistance funding, said the report, which did not name the states that received the FEMA pandemic payments. Now, this isn't even DOJ that's found this. This is the Inspector General who's saying this. So, and DOJ is just citing the report. So there's more on that in that article. Daily Caller, Newt Gingrich says Trump could be the most consequential president since Lincoln for taking a sledgehammer to the establishment. Again, bring it on, baby. He was on Hannity talking about that. All right, and that's going to be it for today, guys. I got to get out of here. But guys, hey, this has been fun. Do I need this? No, I'm going to get the links in here. I'm going to put the aggregator because there's a lot of great articles in the Ace of Spades aggregator. My favorite one from J.J. Sefton, The Morning Report, and everything we've done today. Let me put these in the Put the link in the description. By the way, if you're not familiar with this, it is called a one-tab link. You click that link, and everything we did today will be in the link. So, and I'm doing that right now. There we go. Copy and paste. Here are the links for today. All right, I'll put them in the description also, as I always do. That's it for today, though. Thanks everyone who hung out. Hit the like button before you go. Also, all the people who share the stream. I really do appreciate that. One of these days, we're going to average 100 people instead of 40, and it's all because of you. And I really do appreciate that you guys do that. But it's fun with 40. It's fun with 100. It's fun with however many we have. So thanks, everybody. I got to go. You all have a great day. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.